Devin Haney and Brian Norman. You had to been thinking about this fight even more and more, just like me. I mean, when you see Devin's physique coming into this, he's saying he's going to be more in his natural weight. Versus Brian Norman supposedly needs to cut down. They say they don't necessarily need to cut down too much weight to make the weight class either. What do you feel like this fight looks like?
Well, I don't really care about muscles. That don't really mean nothing.
That don't mean nothing. But the durability, people were saying that Devin Haney touched the canvas with Ryan Garcia, also got hurt with Linares. Is his chin capable? Now being at the weight class, he doesn't need to break down so much muscle.
That's a hell of a question, and we're gonna find out because Norman's a good puncher. I'm still undecided on the fight, but I do think that Devin will be a little bit fresher, not having to cut the 7 pounds. Because from everything that I heard, that he was cutting a lot of weight to get to 35 and 40, and I do question if he could take Brian's punches because that's a real thing. If you see a guy get hurt at a lower weight, you gotta question and say, can he take the punches at the higher weight? Some guys move up and they take a little punch. They take a punch a little bit better because they got more fluid around their brains. Some guys move up and they can't take a punch still because not saying you can't take a punch, but they can't take a punch because it's just genetically they just can't take a punch. So I don't know, you know, what it is. Linares hitting with a shot. It can happen. Um, Ryan Garcia hurt him, but Ryan Garcia was on PEDs. I'm not going to keep giving Devin that. We take PED tests for a reason. A guy on PEDs coming overweight and he hurts you, and we keep talking about him hurting you, but not talking about the context and when it happens is not fair to Devin. Guys getting killed in boxing. You can get killed in the boxing ring. PEDs are illegal. So we got to keep bringing that up. And it's not that I'm so much of a Devin fan. I've only met Devin a couple of times. You could fucking die in a boxing ring. And we keep looking over this, and the kid keep getting mud slung on him by getting knocked down by a guy who was on drugs when he fought him. That's a real thing. You know what I mean? We can't just overlook it like, oh, but he didn't keep his left hand up. All right, but the guy was on drugs and he was overweight. You have to state it in context. So, we don't know what kind of damage that fight done to Devin. I'm gonna keep it real with you. That's a real thing. We just don't. I don't want to say he's the damaged fighter, but the damage has already been done. The punches is already took him. So I don't know if Devin can take his punches. Let's see. But listen, I seen Brian Norman hurt. You know, um, we keep forgetting about that. Both guys have been hurt. And when Brian got dropped, he lost his legs. Him and Devin both lost their legs. So, anybody could be hurt in a boxing match. But the thing I like about Brian that I was trying to say is he's very mature and he's very calm. And that sometimes that carries over in the ring where you'll be able to see things in a moment don't get too big for you. I listen to how he talks. He's having fun. He's at peace with himself. He's handling the moment very, very well. He's showing a lot of maturity. And I don't know Brian very well, but I like that when I see that in a young fighter that is not doing too much. He's not cursing. He's not acting like an asshole. He's being very respectful. He's being very calm. Listen to his answers. He's handling this with a lot of maturity. Um, I think that Devin might be a little too quick for Brian, but I don't know how Devin is gonna handle that kid's jab and hook. You know what I mean? You're gonna get hit with a jab. Brian be knocking people out with jabs. And
He
um,
finishes a lot with jabs too,
yeah, and it's like a swivel jab.
combinations.
It's hard. When most people think you're gonna finish with a hook, he
It's
finished with it.
practically somebody's hook.
Yes, but the difference is, bro, you defend the hook with your hand on the side of your face. So you think the hook is coming, and he shoots a jab right up the middle at the end of the combination, and it knocks the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? And Devin probably gonna have to fight like a perfect fight. You know what I mean? So that's what kind of That's what kind of makes me, you know, be on the fence with the fight, where I think the guy that's a little bit quicker, a little bit more pedigree, a little bit better boxer, I usually go with that guy, but he got to fight a perfect fight with this kid. That's what's kind of like, God damn, can he go all night without getting in touch with that shit? So that's why I'm a little bit up in the air with the fight. And when you calm and compose like Brian Norman Jr. is, you'll be able to see that shot and see that moment. I love the way he speaks. I like the way he talked about setting up the Jin Sasaki knockout, how the guy was mimicking him and he was mirroring him and he was making him mirror him, and he would do something and the guy would do it. He would do something and the guy would do it. And the next thing you know, he would do something and he baited him in and knocked him out. That kid is smart, man. I like him. Um, uh,
He's not just all power, what you see.
no. You got to be able to apply the power. He's a smart kid. The thing that gives me pause about this fight for Bryant is that I hate to bring up race, but I don't see him fight black fighters that's moving and using their legs and being slick and making him not be able to set his feet with his power shots. I'm watching him beat up guys that come to him. He sap their energy, hits them with them short little punches, and then knocking them out. That's a little bit different than dealing with. You see the kid Richardson Hitchens talked about how they was able to outbox him in the gym. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I suspect, that he's better against guys that come to him and try to brawl him than he is having to deal with a guy with reach and movement. That's what I suspect. And when I heard Hitchens comment, I was like, damn, that's what scares me. Not scares me, because I'm not with either team, like as far as like being, working for somebody. But that's what kind of makes me think, damn, I wonder if Brian could pull this fight out, because he's not doing it against black fighters. He's doing it against non-black fighters who come into him and trying to brawl him.
Devin Haney, has he had that same opportunity to fight other black fighters in the same time to be able to show his skills, his slick and movement skills on that type
He
of a
did it.
style?
He did it with Prograis.
Right, he did. He
He
did.
did it with Prograis. You know what I'm saying? And Loma is better than Brian Norman. Let's just be honest. Loma is that Hall of Fame level, and he's a little older and smaller. But as far as skills, Loma's more skilled than anybody that either one of them has fought. So even though Noma's not a black fighter, he has the rhythm and stuff that I'm talking about, that I would like to have seen Brian Norman be able to deal with before uh this fight, so I could get a better feel of how the fight is going to look. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm definitely not saying he can't, but the guys that I'm watching them beat up, they don't fight nothing like Devin. That's what I'm really trying to say. They don't have the reach, the agility, the jab, and the foot movement of a Devin Haney. So I don't know, like the guy Santillon, like him and Devin don't fight anything alike. So it's a great win, but it's like that doesn't really apply to Devin Haney. If Brian Norman had beat a guy like, say, Richardson Hitchens, or somebody like that, but going to, I could say, okay, now I can see how he does with that style. But I don't really know, because Devin ain't gonna stand in front of him. He gonna be moving, he gonna be jabbing, you know what I mean? It's gonna he would be crazy to stand in front of him. He's not gonna do that. So I just would have liked to see him go against that style before I make a prediction. Because Brian's kind of young, you know what I mean? His career is still developing. So we haven't seen him in against a lot of different kind of styles and a lot of different kind of fighters.
Right, right. Some people say, hey, Regis Prograis is not necessarily the super athlete, super black athlete. They
No,
say
listen, he's not. He's not. But at one time, he was a world champion. He,
two
he's kind
times,
of
two
he's
times.
kind of he's kind of fell off a little bit, but going into that fight, it was a good fight. You know what I'm saying? And he is black. I mean, that's what the man is. And I'm not saying he's a super athlete. I'm not saying he's young Mike Tyson, but we have seen Devin Haney versus a guy trying to put pressure on him, a strong guy coming forward, those type of things. At one time, the fans like to crap on people. Regis Prograis was a top one or two fighters at 140, rated by the Ring magazine. He was a two-time world champion. That's not like a guy that's like, some journeyman that they pulled off the street. He was a solid fighter at one time.
Right, right. Um, Great fight. I definitely like that fight. Now this weekend we have Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. rematch. I mean, what do you think? Now we have Chris Eubank training with Bomac. Does that make a difference? Does the fight look different in your eyes the second time around? They did take a toll on each other's livelihood in that fight. The first one.
Yeah, man, that first fight was pretty brutal, right?
Hell yeah.
Um, I guess I'll go with Eubank again. I don't know. Um,
Okay.
I guess I'll go with Eubank again. He seemed to win the first fight. Uh, pretty. It was a competitive fight, but I don't think it was controversial. Do you?
No, no, I
Yeah, I
thought
thought.
Chris Eubank won.
Yeah, so I thought it was kind of competitive but clean.